Hi, folks. Rick Berube here. We are Facebook Live with one of my favorite people. All right, so from the lovely state of California, more specifically in the Anaheim Hills office, number 4 in his office last year, number 9 out of all our California offices, which is about 10 of them, and 1,000 agents, Mr. Dick Crawford. What's up, Dick? But Dick, I'm looking at you, but I'm saying, you're the perfect example of your little marketing picture and your current picture don't match anymore.
No, they don't, but they're only about 6 months apart.
I know it.
It's not like it's my high school photo. It's just my photo from 2019, and got a little coronavirus hair growth going on right now.
Yeah, so you grew it the whole time, right? That's is that 10, 11, 12 weeks worth?
Yes, I started, I think it was the 13th of March, and let it go since then. So
Good
it's
for you.
been a fun experiment.
Yeah, it looks like it. What kind? Let me see. What kind of comments have you got, Dick, about this lovely facial hair?
Well, Rick, I've been asked if I'm related to Ted Kaczynski, and and people like Gabby Hayes, which is a blast from the past in the movies, and a lot of people in between. So it's been a lot of fun. Most people have been very positive about it, and they realize I'm just having fun with it. A couple of people are kind of looking sideways at me, but that's okay.
I think you look great, but my first thought was, I hope you haven't bought large quantities of fertilizer recently. I'm only kidding.
No,
All right,
no
good.
coming here.
All right, good. All right. So last year was a good year for you, but this year you're ahead. Like, tell me, and
Yeah.
you just told us about some closings that you had. So let's hear all about it, my man. We want to hear how you do this too, because I know you've made some changes in the last 3, 4 years that you put you in this position to be in the momentum that you're in, right?
Yes, and that's the word, Rick, is momentum. I've been working at it pretty diligently the last couple of years, and what I've been able to the benefits of right now are some of those efforts where people are just calling me and asking my advice and sending me referrals and things like that. So at the beginning of the year, I closed out one sale that had been since December, and then immediately I started getting calls towards the middle of February, and people just wanting to buy and sell. And I think it was kind of I wouldn't say pent up thing, but the interest rates certainly had a lot to do with it, and the beginning of the year certainly had a lot to do with it. But then it started to continue as the pandemic got into effect. All of a sudden, I found myself in escrow with 3 people at once, and I'm just closing all 3 this week. And in the meantime, I've picked up some more referrals and some more buyers and a couple of more sellers who are kind of playing jump rope, trying to figure out what should we do. So the momentum continues. It's good. It's a good feeling.
It is good, and it's that feeling of momentum that we talk about all the time on our coaching. And, you're experiencing that. I always tell agents, look, momentum is either the best or the worst thing, depending on what side of it you're on, right?
Yeah.
So, but the thing about you, Dick, is that you've walked the talk the last few years, with your way you're being proactive. So share with them how you've been able to, and I also want to mention that you're ahead of last year's pace already, even after, 10, 11 weeks of pandemic too. So share with them how you've done some of that. Give them some of your ideas of how you stay proactive, what you do to stay in touch with your people, and so forth.
Well, first off, Rick, there's a couple of foundational things that I've started with and kind of developed over the years. And one is that there's a lot of comparison in this industry, but for me, I just decided there's no competition. So we're always going to be compared. You talk about number 4, number 9, whatever it is. We're always being compared. We have to try to just take that with a grain of salt and realize that there's really no competition, because we're all such unique people, and we're going to attract those people who are looking for someone like us. So that's one big thing that I really hung on tightly to. And what that has done is that's given me permission to be myself, right?
Yeah.
To not worry about so much trying to be like somebody else and trying to duplicate what somebody else has done. So I have just followed some very good processes that kind of reflect who I am. I am a member and a follower of the Brian Buffini system. And I think you had, was it Mike Ferry on the call this week?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. So Mike Ferry and Brian Buffini are, kind of on, I won't say opposite ends of the spectrum, because I think they've moved towards the center, each of them over the years. But the Buffini system is something that reflects my beliefs and my way of life, I guess. And what that encompasses is doing calls, notes, and pop buys is what we call them. And pop buys, of course, is knocking on the door and saying hello to our clients, which we can't really do during the pandemic. But over the years, I've been doing that. I've been calling my sphere of influence and writing them notes of encouragement and popping by to see them and asking for referrals. And each time I do a transaction, I present that idea to my clients and let them know that I primarily work by referral, and that my job is to do such a bang-up job for them that they would feel comfortable to match me up with someone in their sphere who might be looking to buy or sell. So that has just kind of accumulated and gotten a little bit of momentum in my confidence, and gotten a little bit of momentum in my sphere's kind of awareness, head of awareness, knowing that I'm out there, I'm ready, willing, and able. So it's been kind of a good thing over the years to bring those two things together.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% that Mike Ferry's system and Brian Buffini years ago was very different. But in talking with Mike on Tuesday, and I think you're right, they have met more, and I know that Brian is talking more, because just in case people don't realize, what Dick is talking about is by referral only, is what Brian Buffini calls it, and Mike Ferry is about making the contacts, using the scripts. But I think both of them have kind of met, because even Mike, when I interviewed him about a month ago too, in the middle of the pandemic, and he was saying, call people, be human, don't ask for anything, just check in with them, and which I thought was huge. And then also, I know that even on some of Brian's coaches are talking about, calling people, like, what if I don't have a big SOI yet? I got to talk to people and fill it up. So I think they have met somewhere in the middle, which, and for me, by knowing all the systems, Mike, I worked with Tom, I have my own ways of doing things, plus Brian, even back years ago, Jerry Bresser, Richard Flint. I mean, there's all kinds of things that in my coaching, I've been able to put together and say, remember my line, I'm idea agnostic, which means I don't care who came up with it. If it's good, I'm using it, right?
No, that's a really good point, because I don't follow the Buffini system, to the letter by any means, right, because not all of it reflects me and my, I guess, my personality or my approach or my comfort levels. So I do a lot of things that aren't necessarily professed. And in the beginning, I did a lot of the Mike Ferry type of things, where I was out there just knocking on doors, doing not cold calls, but cold knocks, and introducing myself to the community. And that worked out really well too. So I have blended them. I'm more weighted towards the Buffini approach, but I use a little bit of both and a little bit of what you profess, and you've gotten them from all kinds of people. So yeah, I'm kind of a mutt as well.
I love it. I won't comment based on your hair growth either when you threw in the mutt comment, but no, I'm kidding. I love didn't somebody call you Abe Lincoln too, because you're really tall?
Yeah, I've been called Abe Lincoln. I think I gotta get the hair to be, or the beard to be a little darker, but yeah, they called me Honest Abe. Which is well, and I've seen some of your videos, which you do for your church and for your charities, where you go out there and you do. I actually did a picture with you with the Uncle Sam pointing thing. Yes. Remember? Yes. I'm Uncle Sam in the parade, 4th of July, which I hope we do this year. I've done pirate videos. Arr, it's time, matey, to go buy yourself some property. So I've done pirate videos, and I've got an Old West prospector somewhere in me, and I have fun with the videos.
You certainly do. And
this has kind of helped.
Yeah, and that's something you've also implemented, more social media. Well, let's start from, okay, so I agree with you that you are definitely a relationship person. I can see in your numbers, okay, that your repeat and referral business, I can see them promoting you, talking to their friends about you, and you getting, especially with your Popeyes. I know you do little theme stuff. You also do the angels, schedule. You do all kinds of things and reasons to pop by, which I think is great. I also think in the last few years, adding a little accountability, like how many conversations you're going to have, and keeping the numbers disciplined. I also think that's had an incredible effect on your business as well. Would you agree?
Yes, because it's that little voice in my head. And I hate to break it to you, Rick, it's not your voice in my head, it's my voice.
I hope not.
But with our coaching calls and such, it's kind of shed good light on that type of approach to the business. And I've got a little bit of free spirit in me, so I don't do as well as I might with setting specific goals and the discipline and things like that. But having that little voice in my head and seeing some of the results of doing it just kind of encourages me to. I'm encouraging myself, keep doing that. So yes, that has had a big effect. And I think it started way back. I don't know if you remember this. It started way back when we were in the other office, the original office in Yorba Linda, and you and I first met. And you gave your little talk to the agents about what you were all about and such. And I met you afterwards, and I said, very happy to meet you. Let's get into coaching. I want to take my business to the next level. And that's what's happened. And some of those goal-oriented things have really helped change my mindset.
Yeah, you were that first office we had over there. You were in the back in that like studio-looking area too, weren't you? I like that office.
Yeah, I think we called it the warehouse, but
the warehouse.
Studio is probably a better name.
Yeah, the studio, the warehouse. No, I remember that conversation in depth, and that's why I want to compliment you, Dick. You've actually, I hear that a lot. But not a lot of people say it, but then when you have to say it and back it with the action, that's when people have a problem. It's the old success is a verb, baby. You got to take action every day. And you've definitely done that. So congratulations. The numbers, the keeping track, all that good stuff, but give them an idea of a little bit of your system. Like give them a few other, I've given them a few reasons or things that you do as far as pop buys, but what other things do you do with your sphere?
Well, once a year, I'll do a what we call a pie pop by, or it's actually a reverse pop by during Thanksgiving week. I will have already invited a bunch of clients and customers to the office to pick up a Thanksgiving pie, and we go through a process of them ordering it in advance and such. And so they come by on Tuesday or Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, and they'll pick up their free pie. And I'll have a few other little doodads there for them, maybe a kitchen utensil as a gift or some notepads, things like that. But it's just a great way for them to come in and see my office and see how professional of an office it is, and which is a big impression on people. And just to get a chance to chit chat with me. And lo and behold, they bump into another client who's coming in to get their pie, and I introduce them, and just to let them know that, hey, you're not the only client I've got. And they see a stack of pies on the table, and so it's a lot of fun. That way, that's just one more way for me to build community and not really cram down their throat the idea of when are you going to move. So that's a great event. I really enjoy that. Other things I do are just service in the community, but a lot of that service involves some of my sphere who are on the same committees as I. And so that gets me out into the community in a different light to let people know that I care. And let's see what else. Just random things during the year that we'll do. And I live in the community I work in, so I bump into people in the grocery store and things like that. Although trying not to bump into them anymore.
Right.
But try, just going out and seeing people in the community, because I do live here, and that's been a big boon. The pop buys are especially fun because, as you indicated, I do it kind of with a theme, and I'll make it kind of a campaign. I won't do them on a regular basis, but I'll do them maybe 3 or 4 times a year all at once. And the one that I'm kind of more or less famous for is my bottle of ketchup that I do during July and August, which is, of course, barbecue season. So I'll kind of wrap that around a little theme and pop by to see people. So it makes it more fun for me and makes it easier for me to knock on the door and say hello, and makes it more fun for them and a little bit less awkward, even though we know each other really well. we've got something else to talk about, which is what I want. I want to talk about something else and let them know that I'm there for them, not just for real estate.
Yeah, I love it. That's why I didn't want to steal your thunder about the ketchup one. I wanted you to tell them, and your reverse. I love the, I love the
Yes.
reverse pop by with the pies. That's awesome. And you're keeping in touch with all these people. They know what you're all about, and that's why you're getting repeat and referral business from them, which is absolutely fabulous. So, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
One more quick thing about the reverse Popeye. The reason I use that is because I'm single. And I live in a townhouse, so I don't have a big backyard to throw a party. And so I just wanted to do something for them, but wanted to keep it simple. And I didn't want to have a lot of planning and all that sort of thing. So the reverse Popeye in the office, in the conference room, it works out beautifully. So some people love to do a party. Some people have the facilities, to do a party, and that's what they're all about. And that's awesome. I just toned it down a little bit because I wasn't as equipped with my station in life and my orientation towards those things. I just didn't feel like I wanted to do a big party. So that's why the reverse pop-by worked well for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you also you have that, like you said, your Uncle Sam and the parade every year, July 4th. And then you also have something at your church you do where there's I remember seeing something about serving them Mexican food or something like that, right?
Yes, we have a fish fry. The men's group
fish fry, that's what it was.
Yeah, we got a fish fry every year. And this year, of course, we only had maybe 2, and then we got shut down. But we have a fish fry for 6 weeks before Easter. And that is just a phenomenal time for people to come by and see us in action and see me in action. And it gives me a chance to visit people again in kind of a different environment, in a different light. And that works out really well.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to point out that you have several ways that you are constantly in front of people. You can call it making contacts. You can call it making connections, developing relationships, all of that. And so your proactive may be different, a lot more relationship than some agents, but it absolutely works for you. It's fabulous, and it's actually the old golden rule. You're not just there for real estate. How can I help you with what's going on? So that's great. Which leads me into my last question I have for you, and you know what's coming. I always ask this is, okay, you're a brand new agent or you're an agent trying to take it to the next level. What are the 3 most important things you would tell them to focus on?
In retrospect, number 1 is figure out who you are. And I know that sounds kind of woo, woo, woo. But
well, you are from California.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But it really does come in handy because it helps you make decisions a lot quicker. And it helps you avoid distractions of all the different things that are available out there to us, all these different tools. And so knowing who we are really helps us to decide on how we're going to approach the business.
Yeah, and just interrupt for 1 second. I've seen that in you where you've decided to make your prospecting events more about your personality, and I think that has given you way more confidence in who you are and how you deal with people.
That's exactly it, Rick. Exactly. And we're constantly learning more and more about ourselves. And as we experience different things up and down, we learn more and more about ourselves. And we have an even broader frame of reference. And it gives us permission to do different things and do things differently. So that's a big thing with me, is really know yourself. And that takes a lot of work. I'm constantly reading. I've done some of the in-depth personality profiles, and that's given me some real insight. And I observe that during my day, what my triggers are and what I enjoy doing. That's a real big one for me. And that's given me probably the biggest boost of any of them.
Okay.
So the other 2, talking about following the Buffini system, that reflects who I am. We can go into depth with that if you'd like. The other thing is showing up every day. I know that probably broken record. Everybody says that, but I guess we say it for a reason. That's really kept my head in the game, to show up every day for whatever is on my list. Show up and get it done. And even if it's something that's personal work, I got to go out and I got to get this done personally. That's great because it takes it off my plate, gets it off my mind so that I can focus on work. So I don't worry too much about working 8 to 5. I just want to be on from 8 to 8. And if I'm doing personal stuff during 2-3 hours during the middle of the day just because I have to, that's fine. I know that I'm going to be available doing a Zoom call late at night. So I don't worry too much about the overall schedule, just knowing that I got to show up every day and get stuff done.
Yeah, your intention, right? So be who you are. That's what I heard, and that's, I think, my little joke about that is, be yourself. Everyone else is taken, so it's better to be yourself.
Right. Exactly.
Second one is have a system, and you've explained to them what your system is and your relationships with people. Okay, and then show up every day. Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. Just get it done every day, because when we say every day, I'm talking 5.5 days a week. You don't need to work 7 days a week, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know you don't. You play a little golf. You have a life.
I'm a refiner, Rick, and that's a disease, I think, because I constantly want to fix things and improve them and change them, and I'm never happy with how they are, and that bleeds into more time, which bleeds into more days of the week. So I'm trying to work on that, being less and less of a refiner. But you're absolutely right. You make a choice. I don't want to work 7 days a week. I got family time or personal time I want to get in there. So it's a choice.
It's a choice. Absolutely. It's all a choice. And that's the great thing about being in real estate is you're an independent contractor. I tell new agents, there's one thing wonderful that's happened to you and one thing terrible that just happened to you. The wonderful thing is you just became an independent contractor. The worst thing is you just became an independent contractor, because it's the best and the worst thing depending on what you do. And if they follow your advice, those three things, I'm sure they'll have a tremendous career. Or if they're already doing well, take it like you were already doing well and you took it to the next level.
Yeah. And all of that, all those three things, I believe, has helped me believe in myself a little bit more and more every day. And there's ups and downs. So sometimes it's 2 steps up, 3 steps back. But over time, I believe in myself a heck of a lot more than I did years ago. And it's because of those 3 pillars.
And that confidence comes across, and you do more business, because when people, especially somebody as knowledgeable as you're very analytical, very detailed. And when you add in that confidence to what's coming out, people can tell. People are very perceptive, and they can tell, and that's why they want to work with you. So, Dick, thank you very much for your time today. We really appreciate you taking what's been 25 minutes of your time. You're the best.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, we have, everyone's gonna, are you having this shave for charity? Are you donating? I mean, how are you going to handle this?
I think I'm going to shave off the right side first.
That'd be a great idea.
See how I like it. And if I like it off, then I'll shave off the rest. If I don't, then I'll just grow it back. What do you think?
It'll be a little. You'll have to shave it. You'll have to trim it because it'll be a little bit long. You can do pictures just like this, or just like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. I've got. I'm a twin. You can get the clean shaven one or the Ted Kaczynski model. What do you want?
And I think your sense of humor is also very helpful, especially in a business where you definitely need a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Thanks, my man. Keep it rocking. We'll talk soon, okay? You're the best. Thank you. Bye, everybody.